This channel is made possible by viewers like you. My viewers, subscribers, and patrons greatly help to keep this channel going. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to what I'm working on, previews of upcoming content, and even early videos, along with other tier options for those that are interested. Thank you, and now on to the video. LEGO 2K Drive is easily one of 2023's most overlooked games. Considering the big LEGO name behind it and its publisher, the game should have had a much bigger splash. And most of all, the game is just all kinds of fun. Minute to minute wise, this is a blast and a fun racer to tackle either in single player with all of the offline content, in local co-op, and with the expected online play. Plus there's options for you to tinker around with your own vehicles, just like if you were playing with your own set of Legos. Yes, I have issues with its marketplace, but when it comes to the game itself, there's a lot to praise. So how is the racing itself? 2K Drive is a title that rides that line well with being an accessible racer, along with one you can improve your skill with. What I mean by this is that as a party game, anyone can pick this up and immediately enjoy it. And for others looking for a bit more, there's a lot of enjoyment in understanding each vehicle weight class and their stats along with learning the tracks. I like this sort of middle ground. It means many can just start the game up and get right into it while offering more to others who are looking for it. And for me personally, I'm not good at racers, but I very much enjoy them, so I always like having that room to continually improve. LEGO lifts a very fun mechanic found in a great Sonic racer. In Sonic All-Star Racing Transform, the player could transform into different vehicles over the course of a track, so that means you would start out as a car, then go to a boat, and eventually end up in a plane. This added a lot of variety to the tracks and kept it engaging. LEGO does a similar thing. Here you go from a car to an off-road vehicle and then to a boat. The switching is done automatically, and the vehicles along with their weight classes all handle differently too. So as you go throughout a race, there could be changes in the terrain, and then your vehicle will just automatically switch. This actually fits really well with the Legos and swapping to different vehicles. Now while in a race, your main goal is to maintain and obtain as much boost as possible. You do this through crashing into objects, grabbing pickups, and especially from drifting. Learning the tracks and knowing the best time to boost is satisfying. Bettering your driving and drifting could give you a considerable advantage in most of your races. The boost provides a nice sense of speed to the game as well. This is something you will be actively hunting after because you can really feel it in those situations where you're completely out of boost. Now just like any kart racer, there will be plenty of pickups to grab. Each of these will provide you with a random item to use, hopefully giving you an edge in the race. Many of these are LEGO's versions on classic items. There's ones that will warp you ahead in the race, another sends out rolling bombs. There's a homing missile, a shield that can send out a blast that hits other racers, and a really cool machine gun sort of super. The minute-to-minute racing is enjoyable, and it checks the right boxes with the other expected kart elements. Now one area where LEGO really impresses is the amount of content that it provides. There are a wealth of modes to enjoy. First is the story mode. This is an open world and a very fun and unexpected addition. In some way, this could be its own game. You have access to a few mini open worlds and you will race around them, completing main missions and side activities. The main missions all center around races. Things get a bit more interesting with the side stuff. These usually involve helping people, collecting something for someone, smashing into things, avoiding obstacles, challenges, and many other timed activities. There's even challenges that you will come across and can start as you're racing around. Where I think the open world succeeds is how it is structured. It is familiar with the typical things to seek out on the map, but it's not peppered with those activities. The player needs to actually find them, which means that there is some enjoyable exploration where you honestly don't know what you're going to find, say on top of that mountain or over that river. And since you can jump and boost around the map, traversal is a blast, and the entire thing seems designed to really let the player enjoy these spaces. I was impressed that even for a kids game, the activities were not spoon-fed to the player. Story-wise, kids will probably like it. Adults might smile a few times, but it's full of dad joke humor. There are quests as well, and these are fun short activities, like you have to find pigs, cutting weeds, chasing an opponent in a cop car, and even rescuing dolphins. You'll want want to do these as many of them will net you with rewards, including new cars to use and customize. The transforming is used well in the open world, and like I have said before, for open world games the traversal is one of the most essential parts. If it's not fun to move around in that space, then the open world is not going to be something you want to stay in. Now this is not the only mode. On top of this, you have the traditional cup races, along with single race options. Plus any of those fun minigames and activities you see in the open world. Most of them can be played anytime in the minigame mode. A nice surprise was how pretty much everything can be played in offline local play. This means that the story, open world, cup races, single races, and even the minigames can all be played in offline. I miss this feature in games. I grew up with split screen, and it's something that is continually disappearing from big AAA games. We really only see it within the indie space now, but LEGO has it and I love it. Plus now when the servers go down and the online community has moved on, we can still enjoy the game locally whenever we want.
Fusion sprockets.
Now this wouldn't be a LEGO game if you weren't able to create something for yourself. Here the game gives the player the tools to toy around with any of the vehicles, and if you like getting into all the details, the game allows for it, and it provides a bunch to you. Now you can start from scratch or use one of the game's vehicles and change it how you want. There are some restrictions, so you can't do anything, but you can do a lot, and there's options here to vet out any content, while hilarious that would also be inappropriate for a kid. LEGO 2K Drive is a nice surprise, but I had a few flaws with it. For one, I found it annoying that I needed to sign up for the 2K service so that I could access everything in the game. This was something we saw in a few Square Enix titles like the Avengers, and this needs to stop, and it can't become the norm for games. I do like that you can toy around with making your own vehicles, but it is odd that there's no in-game share feature. There are plenty of good online communities for this game, and they provide instructions and options to share their vehicles there, but the game should do this. Now I know this would be a considerable amount of work, but it seems like a missed opportunity to not have any track editor or maker for this game. Considering that this is LEGO and you'll always want to build with them, this would be the perfect game to give the player that freedom. Maybe this is something they can add for a potential sequel. On top of this, I wish that there was an option to change some elements of the provided tracks, like time of day, weather, and that sort of thing, to help enhance the replay value. There is a cool effect where your car will break and parts of it will come off as you race and smash into others. As you hit other objects, your car will build back itself together. I do think it would have been cool to have this effect, but when your car rebuilds itself, it should be of the colors of the objects you're smashing into. This means that your car will look very different by the end of the race. Now lastly, I have to mention the marketplace. This game has a lot of microtransactions. Normally I wouldn't really bring this stuff up unless it made a play to win type of situation, but the way they are used here just doesn't feel right. The rewards range from decent to slow from just playing the game. It's going to take you a while to buy stuff. Considering that the target audience for LEGO 2K Drive is at kids, this feels kind of predatory. Kids do not have the patience to just wait to earn stuff. They'll want it now. I think either the reward system or the marketplace could benefit from an upgrade. LEGO 2K Drive is a really nice surprise. Just looking at the racing, it succeeds at providing plenty of minute-to-minute fun. There's a great amount of modes, and the story open world is really good. Implementing the transforming element from the Sonic title was a nice surprise, and I'm glad that someone else is using it today. Visually, the game is good, and I like many of the music tracks as well. Plus, I have to give a lot of praise to the local co-op option. The marketplace just doesn't sit right with me for this title, but when looking at just the game, I had a blast with it. I highly recommend LEGO 2K Drive. Have you played LEGO 2K Drive? What is one of your favorite kart racers? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.